Happy Valentine's Day.
I should wear headbands in my threads more.
You look good. I like your headband.
So
happy Friday evening, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day.
I realize that some of you guys may be busy.
Yeah.
So maybe you'll be catching us on the replay.
Don't be too busy.
Why not? You can be busy if they want to be busy.
What kind of busy are you talking about?
Like, I have lots of stuff to do.
Oh.
How is everybody tonight?
How's the quality? The one person that's on watching right now. The quality is good, audio and video. We are streaming through Jessica's hot cell phone. Our upload speed is like 1 megabyte per second. And I don't think that that's quite fast enough for you. And on here it says unable to connect to chat. I don't even know if we're connected to the chat or if anybody can even see or hear us out there. Maybe I'll do this right here. If I can type.
Can anybody, I don't know. I wish that I could.
I know.
Can y'all see and hear us?
Can y'all see us?
Comment.
Minute and a half delay. So I feel like it's been longer than a minute and a half. Unless the people that are on are like, let's just leave them hanging as long as we can.
You know what? Let me log on.
You could do that, couldn't
to
you?
YouTube. See, look at us. Guys can. Let's see. Oh.
And then us?
That was just our message.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
Anyways, well, we'll keep talking. So,
all right. So, yeah. There we go.
Oh, there's people talking.
Because Renee is on.
Oh,
hi, Renee.
what's up?
Hello, Sleepless Hustler. We're not connected to the chat, so I'm actually connected via my phone.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on
weird.
with it. So at least I can see y'all now and hear
it's
y'all.
It's running slow.
Okay.
I don't know what to do, Renee. It's our lovely internet here in Arkansas. I don't know what we're gonna do. Hopefully, at some point, the internet provider will finally fix the node.
We don't know what that
whatever
means.
that is, but it's not working right now. So, but we're doing good.
Anyway, it's good to see everybody. We're just gonna give y'all some updates, find out what's going on with you guys, have some conversation. Conversación, I think is how you say it in Spanish.
Yes.
Renee knows about the node.
Yes. I'm glad you know about the node. You know when they're going to fix the node?
Can you find out for us and let us know, please?
Swift Connect. And be like, when are you going to fix Joe's node? Because we need to, we're going to fix our node.
What's up, my friend? The stuff about he has a lot of hangouts. So great place to ask. You should, Renee.
Hello. We're on the phone with the first person who is actually connected with us and who was attempted to actually call, even though it was a Skype call, but you did. So I'm hoping the Wi-Fi connects back because there we go. I think. Yeah.
So they need to hurry up and get on it.
Yeah.
/adjust from the same place or different places.
Or maybe you're the same person pretending to be two people.
That'd be weird.
Use your drink.
Yeah.
Buddy.
I'll get it.
So this week has been very, very slow for us in the reselling world. And what I'm reading in the Facebook in a good little while on Sunday, we only did like 100.
Disconnect.
Does something on the Wi-Fi here shortly.
Yeah, we're trying to stabilize, guys. We're trying to stabilize.
Hopefully we're no longer buffering. We're very sorry. Maybe next week we'll try. We've tried many things. I know when we scheduled the live stream, you can't stream from the scheduled live stream on a cell phone, but you can from a computer. So I don't know what other options we are.
I'm like, hold on, let me just do this and see. Okay, there we go. I'm looking at my phone because like our chat isn't working. I don't know what's going on, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, Destiny's on here. Destiny is on here. Awesome. And so you guys are married, Marie and Justin. Are you guys resellers? And where are you from?
It's so small.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You want to just kind of MacGyvering everything today? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so yeah, update on us. It's been very slow.
It has.
Which we expect this time of year.
But we also, that was partly our fault. Last week we had some inventory shortages. So we only listed, normally we list around 150 items on the low end. But last week, because of delayed shipments of inventory coming in, because most of our sourcing is done online. Washington State, awesome.
I've been there. It's beautiful. I love it.
99.9% of our sourcing is done online. And for whatever reason, all of our shipments that we had ordered were delayed. Inventory on hand to make sure that we're counteracting that, and that way that won't happen when it happens. But cash flow coming out of the holiday with slower periods of time, cash flow isn't exactly where it needs to be. But next week should be better because we listed, I don't know, close to 200 items this week. And keep in mind, we have a full-time employee also, which she does, I don't know, 150 by herself. So that's why I know a lot of people are watching part-time that they don't list quite as much.
Yes, but we do list quite a bit. We released a video, a lazy reseller, talking a little bit about trying to do better, things that maybe we're struggling with. And Joe and I decided to try and tackle sourcing.
We did.
And in sourcing, we mean thrifting.
We went thrifting.
For those of you who do not know us, we are very much liquidation buyers. We buy 99% of what we buy is bulk. You know, keep in mind, we live in a really rural area, so there's just not a huge plethora of thrift stores and everything. And the thrift stores that we do go to or that we do have around us, they actually check eBay comps.
They do.
So it is very rare that we actually find something with really, really good margins. And we just don't have a lot of space. We're a family of 5. So we just don't have a lot of space to store lots of stuff for long periods of time. So we have to find things that will flip fast so that we can keep the cash flow moving. And so we were like, well, let's try and do thrifting. And I was going to do a vlog on it.
We did a vlog, but.
We did, but half of our footage, because we are fairly inexperienced when it comes to this. We were so focused on trying to source and stuff. Joe lost half the footage of his GoPro.
I don't know where it went. I had built this little rig that I put around my neck and got it to where it would, record what I was looking at. But I don't know. I thought I pushed the button.
I think you did push the button because when I was looking at it, it like randomly stopped the video. So half of the footage isn't even there. So it's not even really.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
not cohesive at all.
So let me just tell you how it went since I won't be releasing a vlog about it. I found it very frustrating.
I can go by and get the items real quick.
If you want to, you can. I'm sure they'd love to see it. Hey, Barb. Hey, Swamp Picker. What's up? How are y'all doing? Did I say hi to Des already? Hi, Destiny. Love you. You're awesome. Drinking coffee. Because you always have coffee. So yeah. Yeah, so it was very frustrating. I think the big difference for us between like what we do and what thrifters do is like a lot of the decision making has to be made on the front end with sourcing. And I have a hard time making those kinds of decisions. But then, like, I'm really good at buying things in bulk and then just trying to figure out how to move it. Different ways to move it, different avenues, different platforms, and things like that. So I'm just noticing, like, it's almost like a completely different world, thrifting and trying to find items one by one as opposed to buying lots and lots of stuff. Yeah.
And we went to 3 stores, and the first store we went to was a Salvation Army, and we were attempting to buy some clothes. And
I just couldn't do it. It was so
the
frustrating.
last time we went there, probably over the summer, they had $2 jeans day on Fridays and Saturdays. Well, they don't have that anymore. So here we are. We're going through all of these jeans, looking them up, and it was very discouraging. We're like in there. We're like, we're wasting our time. Like we just like, I'd rather just pay somebody to go shop for us.
Which we do technically when we buy liquidation. We find somebody to, get our product for us, and we pay them.
And so we found several items that we could have sold, but it just like I don't like to list clothes anyways. But so like we passed on. I think we found one pair of jeans, some Levi's silver tab jeans, some like whitewashed women's jeans for $2. And they were comping like $30. Jessica found that one. And but that's it. Like that's all that we found at that store. We came out of there like feeling so demoralized and discouraged. And
I mean, honestly, I left there like angry because I was just like, I'm like one of those people. I like to be really good at stuff. And when I'm not really good at something, it makes me mad. Yeah. And so when I was I'm like kind of like that naturally, competitive kind of thing. And so when I was out there, I was like sitting in the car and I was like, this is awful. And I'm like, no. And I had to like stop for a minute and be like, okay, we're going to go to another thrift store and I can't carry these negative emotions in there with me. So like I took a minute. I ended up buying myself this sweater.
You did buy two things there.
I did. I bought this sweater.
I bought a shirt.
It made me feel better.
I bought another red shirt. Imagine that. Another red shirt. I think we talked about that last week though, I feel like. And but we went to the Salvation Army and we were in there for a long time and we found nothing except for the one pair of jeans. And we don't go to any like I've never been to an estate sale. I want to go just to experience it. But we went to some garage sales last year, and we'll go again. But it would be just to have fun. Like it's not going to be anything that we're going to do to count on for inventory. And I don't know. I mean, I know it's different for us, but like I don't know how people do it. That like that's their main sourcing strategy is that, which I know in some areas and a lot of areas, like you can find lots of things. And if you're doing it part-time, working 5 to 10 hours a week, you could easily do it. I mean, but then we went to a Goodwill that we usually find some stuff there, but most of the time it's overpriced, like big time overpriced. But we did find this keyboard here, little Microsoft digital media keyboard. We got it for $3. And it's selling for like $20 plus shipping. And this is a very easy testable item. So it was easy. And then,
of course, we did a lot of consumer electronics. Did you tell them, like, of course?
Yeah, because all this stuff, everything that we bought, like our VA could do it. So like once we realized like we weren't going to do clothes, it was all easy stuff that our virtual assistant, Wally, can find in the models and be able to enter the item description and all that for us. And I got this little Netgear router, and I paid up for it $5. It's selling for $25. No, it's selling for $30 to $35, shipping included. So it'll ship for like $10. So it's a good, $15 profit, but it's got a 100% sell-through rate. So it won't stay on our shelf very long. And it's easy to list, so I didn't have to spend time with it. And then our best find that we had was this Aris modem router right here. We got it for $4. And normally I wouldn't have bought this, but we sell lots of routers and lots of modems. So like this one, it didn't come with the power cable or an Ethernet cable, but I have those already laying around from modems and routers that I bought in bulk that didn't work. So, but this one here, it's selling for $60 with a 100% sell-through rate. So good profit, $4 into $60, $10 shipping. So it'll be pretty good. And then normally, even if we would have had to buy a power cable or Ethernet cable, then those wouldn't be more than $10 too. So easy money. And then the other item we bought was these Giorgio Brutini shoes. They're in good condition. And I was able to find these exact shoes. eBay comps, they're selling for $20 plus shipping. So we'll be able to turn $4 into 20. Granted, you got fees and stuff. So I think I calculated out to be like $85 in profit. Had we just gone to the one store and just went into that one Goodwill, then it would have been awesome. But we went to 3, and there's a new Goodwill. Like we ate lunch, and there's a restaurant called Bulgogi that we go to all the time. It's like a Korean barbecue place. And right next door to it, they put in a new Goodwill in like 2 weeks. So we went in there, and we didn't find nothing. There's a lot of stuff I found, but it was just priced so high. It's like they were training their employees, like, look up on eBay to figure out what they're selling for, and then price it like $5 below that price. So it was really hard to make any money on. Look at the chat. Making a killing delivering food as always. And that is a good idea. Justin and Marie about the estate sales. Definitely, we'll check them out and hear, when they have them. It's something I am looking for. And it'll be interesting to go to. And it'll be something just to do for fun and to learn. And to vlog about it and stuff, but definitely not something that we would do as our normal sourcing thing, just because it takes more time. Like we can buy, like I can get online and buy 100 items in like 5 minutes and then not have to worry about sourcing for, a half of a week. And so that's part of what we do. And but any of y'all have any questions? I know Jessica went to go see if she could put Lucas down for a nap. My wrist, I've got tendonitis, man. And it'll get better, but then it just goes back down. I need to go do physical therapy. I went to the doctor back in January, and they set me up with a physical therapist, but I hadn't gone. The kids got sick, and I use an excuse not to go. But I need to go because I know it would help because it's just not getting better. So, but thank you for asking. So what out there, what do y'all do like when you're normal, like if you do thrift or garage sale for like your main sourcing strategy, like what do you do when like it's dry? Like what do you do when there are periods of time, like a week, 2 weeks, where you're not finding anything to sell? Do y'all just stock up and buy as much as you can when they do have it? What's y'all's strategy? I'm interested to know what some of y'all do, just because it's good information. Like we don't ever encounter that, but we often get asked lots of questions. Sorry, reading the chat. It's so small. Normally it's like big on the screen, but for some reason our chat's not working on the computer. She's back.
Sorry, guys. Little man's a little tired. He's a little sleepy.
But I gave him the whole rundown.
You did?
I mean, you probably heard me. I'm so loud when I talk.
I actually didn't.
That's
I'm
awesome.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like, what?
Well, I asked, what people who thrift or garage sale for their sourcing strategies, like what do they do with like when their normal sources run dry for weeks at a time? And Rummage for Riches, you changed. It's Nathan. All right. That Nathan, he just pulls it down from a shelf because he's got so much stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Sorry. Lucas is, I think he's going through a growth spurt or something. And so he's just really extra tired and extra hungry. So he needs a little more love. So I got to take care of my baby. I I missed so much.
You did miss a lot.
Oh.
So, but we had planned on doing all of that. We had filmed a bunch of stuff with my GoPro. Do a real nice short movie for y'all and talk about our experience and put it out tomorrow. But when Jessica got my GoPro footage today, it was non-existent.
Barb likes our quick tip videos.
Awesome.
Thanks, Barb.
So if you haven't seen our quick tip videos, check them out. It's something that we're going to start doing 2 or 3 times a week, probably 2 times a week for now. Just something quick, 2 or 3 minutes that y'all can get, that we don't talk a whole lot. Because I know sometimes I can get long-winded. I know sometimes other people can get very long-winded. But we're trying to be respectable of people's times, give you a little nugget of information. And then if you want to watch a whole bunch together, then you can just play the playlist.
I just like to have easily digestible tips to help me get started through the day. And I was like, how can I do that? Because, really and truthfully, we've been talking a lot with, all of you guys that watch our channel. And, I don't want to just put out content. I want stuff that you guys would want to watch, that you would want to see. And so we were asking things like, how often do you source? And, are you part-time? Are you full-time? And we're discovering that we just have a large variety of people that watch our channel. And I'm like, well, everybody could use like a reminder on, certain like tips, like just basic quick things that and I want to post those in the morning time. So if somebody's like going into work, getting ready to start their day, it's like a quick little something that you can easily digest and then move on with your day, And so I think that's something that, I appreciate. It's part of my morning routine. When I do think of something to focus on, think of my goals, think of my motivations, things like that. So if I can help anybody else doing that, then, it's a quick 2 minutes and it doesn't take a lot of time for me. And I always think about things that, that people might benefit from, you know? So that's the quick tip videos. Those are things that we're trying out. It seems that people they like them. So I guess we're going to try and do that.
Yeah, Brian, we would like to do Amazon, but Amazon has said, Joe, you can't sell.
We've been banned
on us right now.
We've been suspended.
Suspended, not banned.
Suspended is the better word. Yes.
For almost a year now. And we're getting to that point probably, 6 months from now that we'll try to pick it back up. I have been working with the appeals department at Amazon, working on getting a appeal and action plan put together that they will accept, and they've been extremely helpful. I've been encouraged by it. It seems very promising that we'll get it back.
I hope so.
But at some point in time we will. It's just not short-term plans.
Yes, we wish it was short-term plans, but it probably will not be.
Yeah.
We had to be really creative.
Yeah. And I'd recommend if a lot of people, a recent poll that we did, we found that, and this is our audience, but 40% of the people who answered in this poll worked less than 10 hours a week in their reselling business. Mm-hmm. So if you also and they're watching and you work 10 hours or less in your reselling business, put a 10 or how many hours a week that you work in your reselling business. If you can put that in the chat, just so that we can get
just
some
on
more
average
more information.
I'm interested to, this is, the reason why we ask these things. Well, for one, we want to get to know you better. So that we can give you things that are actually useful.
Yeah.
And also, it's interesting to us to learn more about people who are different from us. Because the thing I love about reselling, that is, other than it being reselling, and I actually love doing it, is that it's so versatile. And you can be anybody and do it. And it could be on any level. So I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
And I would say the thing that, big takeaway I'm taking from everything over the last month that I'm really been talking to a lot of people is you either have time or you have money. Sometimes people don't have time or money. But usually if you don't, the more time you have, the least profitable the items have to be, because you have more time to be able to work.
Right.
But the more money you have, like the more expensive items you can buy and not have to spend as much time doing. What I'm saying, like if I needed to make, you know, $1,000 a month, but only had like 5-10 hours a week to work, eBay would not be where I'd be selling. Like I would be selling on Amazon because your main goal would be sourcing. And then you would just do Amazon FBA and you could do that like very easily. Granted, you've got to have probably a little bit more upfront capital just because your profit margins are smaller, your margins are smaller. You're not going to be able to repeatedly to be able to turn a $2 item into 25 or 30 bucks like you can with eBay with the sourcing strategies like thrifting and stuff. But you could very easily turn $5 into 10 bucks in a couple of weeks with Amazon. So that's the thing I'm learning is just, you know, Amazon, if I only had that much time, 5 to 10 hours a week, I would just work on the front end, trying to source items that I could do with Amazon that just use all the time sourcing and do an hour of boxing it up an hour a week. And that would be it. I wouldn't be messing with eBay just because of how long it takes. Unless if I was on eBay, I would try to do, you know, brand new items that had a UPC code or a make and model that would be very easy to list. Not a lot of testing time, you know, or not a lot of prep time. That's the way that I would go.
For sure.
Yeah. So Sleepless Hustler, just 25 to 35.
I only got 2 answers here. Is there anybody else out there who's
Nobody
doing
wants
it?
to
Nobody
cooperate.
wants to.
Maybe they don't.
Well, maybe you're not resellers. Are you
Yeah.
guys not resellers? Because then
Yeah.
you could just put 0
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah.
thanks, Brian. I'll
And,
take. We're one flesh. I know he gave the
yeah.
advice, but we're one flesh. So I'm just gonna take that compliment. I appreciate it.
But I got a quick tip.
Quick.
I don't know when Jessica will put it out because I filmed 2 of them today. So they both, dang, I can't get my words out right. They may both be out next week, but I believe Jessica has one that she wants to do. So it's time or money. Which one do you have? And so yeah. Any questions out there?
That's cool. Probably 30 between the 2 of you. That's honestly, we have a full-time employee, and Joe and I both probably work about 25.
Yeah, I
would say probably.
Ideally, moving forward, like our 6-month plan, I will probably need to start working 6 to 12 in order to make it all happen as our because we're working on increasing to 300 listings per week with strategic sourcing to allow us to be able to list that much. But in order to make sure I'm able to do that and do the other stuff, I will at some point have to start working 6 to 12, but still that's 30 hours a week. Mm-hmm. And granted, I do work some at nighttime here and there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's probably 35 hours.
It's fairly flexible for sure. But, both Joe and I homeschool our kids. So it's really important that, and I love it that way because, there are some things that, our kids get better from him and get better from us. So there's like some non-negotiable hours for both of us that we just can't work. So.
We're in Arkansas. Is she from Cajun? And but then I worked to 12, and then from 12 until
her needs. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then from 12 o'clock on until Jessica gets done with CrossFit around 5:30, she's gone working on YouTube, social media, blogs. And if you haven't checked out our blog, Jessica's been typing up some very good blog posts, and we'll be typing up more of those.
Doing it behind his back a little bit. I had no idea.
There is one that she posted in like November that I read it the other day. And I was like, man, this is good stuff. I didn't even know that you had posted this. And but check out, it's thefamilyflips.com. And
trying to make it as user friendly as possible. We don't have it all worked out yet. So
it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, but if you guys have any advice, if you guys have any suggestions, just contact me on there. I'm always willing to do that. I want to do better. But right now, it's basically just a landing page with a link to all of our social media.
Thank you, Sleepless Hustler. I I wish $2 would fix our internet. I wish $2 would. I wish, but thank you. I will tip the Swift. What are they called? Repairman.
For the node.
But $2, he probably would look at me kind of funny. So it may take more than $2.
Nah, Marie,
I'm not asking for more money.
If he was sleeping, I'd be like,
yeah. Lucas, he doesn't like to sleep.
I don't think any of our kids like to sleep.
No. He had a horrible cough for like a week. And so for like a week, we didn't get much sleep because he would wake her up, and then she would wake me up, and then he would wake me up further because he was like, ah! He would get scared, poor baby, because he would get to coughing so hard that he would get scared and didn't know what was happening. You know, when you cough super hard and you start seeing like the flashes of light. I don't know if you ever you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Have y'all ever coughed so hard you're like, and it's like you're seeing flashes of light?
Does anybody else have that? What are you talking about?
You've never seen that before?
No.
Please let there else be somebody else out there that when you
Marie says yes.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
It's like your chest is like vibrating. It's like boom, boom, and there's like flashes of light.
Oh my gosh, what does that mean?
I don't know what it means.
Wait a minute.
I think
does that mean that I'm messed up because I don't?
Brian has had it too.
Oh my gosh, is there something wrong with me? I need to go to the doctor. I don't see flashes of light when I cough.
She's gonna think she has some rare African disease one time.
Okay.
People on here don't know about this story. Some might, but you should tell the story.
Well, I don't even know where to. I didn't feel good. I was super nauseous, extremely tired, felt like totally off, and I Googled it, and it was
any other Google doctors out there? You have some symptoms.
It was like something.
And you go hit up WebMD.
Yeah, and then it told me I had rheumatoid fever, I think is what it was. Rheumatoid fever. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, Joe, like, I have to go to the ER right now. And
she's like, I'm dying.
He's like, look. And I was like, look. And he goes, wait, hold on one second. And so then he like leaves. And I'm like left in the bedroom by myself, like panicking. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, he's left me and I'm dying. And I don't know what to do.
She's
and then,
dying. I'm out. I'm getting an early.
No, that is not what happened. He came back with his phone. He came back with his phone. He's like, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have this? Do you have that? And I was like, and I had like 10 of the 17 symptoms.
No, at first I was like, have you been to Africa? You're like, no. I'm like, were you born before 1919? She's like, no.
He's like, then you don't have.
This hasn't happened since like 100 years ago.
Yeah, so it's like been extinct in the United States for like however long. I didn't read that far because I saw the symptoms and I was like, oh my gosh. So then he's like going through and he's like reading these 17 symptoms and I have 10 of the 17. He goes, you know what this is? And he was like, I was like, no, what is it? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you figured it out. What is it? And he goes, you're pregnant. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I am not pregnant. And I take a test and lo and behold, Lucy comes 9 months later.
Lucy came after that.
So now every single time I'm like, something's wrong or whatever, he's like, it's that rare African disease.
Yeah. Yeah. And then with Lucas, she woke up on a Sunday morning and at 9 a.m. she requested pho? Pho.
Yeah, it's PHO, pho. A lot of people call it pho, but it's actually pho.
She requested it. And I'm like, dang it, you're pregnant again. I'm like, ow, it hurt. Oh. Sorry. Oh,
Lucas is crying. Hold on one second.
So I had a hernia surgery back in September, and I'm still tender, and I laughed too hard, and it was a little achy. But Lucy, like, they're only trying to figure out how many months they're apart. 15, 16 months they're apart. So I don't know. Those are like Irish twins or something, is what they are. Awesome. Have a good night, Clay. And hello, Simply Dana. How are you doing? Happy Valentine's Day to you also. And it don't feel like Valentine's Day. You know, Jessica and I, we don't really, for one, I've never been a fan of, I guess, any holiday, really. My belief on a lot of holidays is they're very retail minded, which is cool because I'm in retail. But what's up, buddy? Do you need a hug? Hey,
You want to say hi to everybody?
hi,
I don't know. He's so tired. I may.
But we've never been a big fan of Valentine's Day. So it's like we don't really celebrate it. You know, she's not much of a flowers and chocolates person, and I'm the type of person where I feel like I have to do something, like it's culturally expected to get something for Valentine's Day. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So, but she's okay with it. So luckily, we are both okay with not being big celebrators. Is that the right word? Yeah, of Valentine's Day. But we were going to go to lunch today because Whitney watches the kids on Fridays so that we can do some filming and run errands and stuff. But today we had a interview that we did with Harry Tornado that will be out in a week or two that we did with him so that we can polish it up real nice and get put out. So we couldn't go to lunch today, but it's still, we'll probably get somebody to watch the kids maybe next weekend or the weekend after that. Get my sister to watch them. Amy, if you're watching, I don't know if she is. Sometimes she watches, and we want to go watch the new Star Wars. We haven't seen it yet. So happy anniversary to Marie, and I forgot your name already. I suck at names. I'm sorry. So happy anniversary. That's awesome. So how many years has it been? And hello, Courtney. Nice of you to stop in. And if you haven't checked out Bolo Buddies, please do so because you'll find lots of good stuff. She does some store reviews of other people. They're always very informative. I always learn something, even though I don't sell a lot of the same goods. I still learn a lot about processes and strategies and just little marketing things. So it's always very helpful. And so that's awesome. Y'all's anniversary. And that's cool. And then somebody, I think it was also 24 months apart. So it's crazy. I don't know. It's going to be nice. I don't know if we'll ever get Lucy potty trained. She's not around. She doesn't mind going pee-pee in the potty, but poo-poo in the potty, she will not do. So she's got to get a diaper. And then Lucas, he just wants to sit on the toilet and put toilet paper in the toilet, but not do anything. And good night, Barb. Have a good evening. 18 years. That is awesome. And that's awesome. That's really exciting. I'm glad to hear people that have been married that long just because of how I've been married before and it didn't end well. I wouldn't say I was a workaholic. I was somebody who did not know how to have relationship, didn't know how to have communicate wants and needs and emotions. I didn't even know I had emotions then except for anger. And anger is not really an emotion. It's a response to usually, sadness. And it didn't end well. I just worked all the time instead so that I didn't have to deal with my problems of not being a good friend or partner or spouse. So I always get excited when I see people who have been married for a good period of time. So it's encouraging, very encouraging. Awesome. What are y'all cooking, Tommy? And I hope it's good. We had, I don't know what we had tonight. Jessica cooked something in the crock pot because we've learned that Fridays we tend to eat a bunch of junk. Hi, Lucy. Because we're on the go all day long. Then we've got get the kids settled. Then we've got you guys at 7. So it's very hard. You want to say hi to everybody? No, you just want to chill. And this is Lucy, for those of you who have not seen Lucy before. And she was watching her tablet. She likes Pretend Peppa Pig. And but that's it. Trying to think if y'all have any questions out there. I've been talking for a long time, and because Jessica's not here. And you want to say anything? No? And we are looking at getting some more pallets here next month. We're working through the last of our inventory that is in our storage unit from the last truckload that we purchased last year. And we told ourselves, I don't know, I've been having the itch to buy more and more, but what's up, dude? You want to say hi? You don't have to. And this is Jolynn. She's like, hey, YouTube. You don't want to say it? She's our oldest. She's so smart. She's too smart. But I promised myself to not buy any more pallets until we finish working the rest of what we have. But based on our plan and what we're doing, we should be able to next month sometime. So we may take y'all on a tour to, it's called Warehouse 1. It's in Tennessee. They've got, I don't know, thousands of pallets there that we like to get pallets from there. Jolynn. Sorry, Jessica was calling Jolynn, and I don't think Jolynn heard her very good. Steaks and shrimp and onions with potato wedges and salad. Heck yeah. That's awesome. I know, right? That's good. How are you cooking the steak? Are you cooking it like in a cast iron skillet? Are you grilling? How are you preparing it? We used to buy truckloads, Renee. We started off buying pallets, but with pallets, unless you are able to go and physically inspect the pallet, or you have a very good listed detailed manifest, and they're generally always right. Manifest, you still, even though the pallet, it could be manifested, you still never know exactly what's going to be on that pallet or truckload or the condition it is in until you're able to get it unboxed. But you just never know. So like with pallets, it's a calculated risk. And in order to play the odds, we learn to purchase as many at the same time as possible. But also for us, since we have to have them shipped in or we have to go and get them, shipping is very expensive. For the pallets that we like, it usually costs about $200 per pallet to have it shipped. But if you order a whole truckload, we were having a whole truckload delivered for $1,100. So we were saving ridiculous amounts of money by ordering a truckload at the same time. But since we don't have the warehouse anymore, just because when you start buying pallets in liquidation, that you've got to have multiple outlets to be able to sell it, because you're not going to be able to sell it all online, because either it's going to be too big or too bulky. The cost of shipping is going to be way too much, and it's going to eat up all your profits, or it's going to be too small, and it's not really going to be worth your time listing it online to make $1. Like, unless you have a whole lot of time, you could do that, but time is money for us. So we learned just to buy by the truckload in the warehouse, too much work, and we were like, this is not what we want to do. It was actually, we moved into the warehouse so that we can order a whole truckload, but then we were ordering truckloads that we had no idea how to move it all. We learned lots of lessons, realized that you can't just sell it all online. So we started opening up to the public and having to open up, 5 days a week in order to because when you start open brick and mortar retail, you've got to be open weekends. So all of why we got into reselling to begin with was for financial freedom and for freedom of time. It was taking away our freedom of time. Like we no longer had time for the family on the weekends. I was having to work in the evenings, and it wasn't worth it. So we closed the warehouse down. So what's going on, Craig? Yes. Steak in a cast iron skillet's my favorite way also. There's been much debate about whether you start it in the oven first and then cook it and then get that nice crisp sear on the outside, or y'all don't be too distracting to them out there. They may want to see y'all more than me. I don't know. But we're all wearing blue. Do y'all notice that? Or get the nice crisp sear on the outside and then finish cooking it in the oven. I don't know. I like that crisp sear. So that is it. I hope that answers your question, Renee. Truckloads, you can get them cheap too, which they are going up. I know when we used to purchase the last truckload of Amazon small box, if you've been to pallets, it's also called high piece count pallets or bin store pallets is what they're called. The last truckload we got was like $9,600 or something. But now those same truckloads are like $1,400. They've gone way up in just over a year. Look, what is that? 30%, 40%. They've gone up. Medium box pallets you can get for about $9,000, $10,000, which is about what they were before. So they haven't gone up as much. But the bin store pallets, those are very popular now. You've got bin stores popping up everywhere. You know, I say bin stores, those stores that you can, they've got like some, the way they have it set up is like on Wednesday, it's $5, on Thursday, it's $4, Friday's $3, Saturday's $2, Sunday $1, and so forth. They have those falling prices type structure. I know when we had our bin store, we would price everything like $5, $4, $3, to try and get more value in it for us, because we didn't have a lot of traffic. So it wouldn't make sense to do it for us because there just wasn't a whole lot of traffic. When we had moved into that warehouse, we did not plan on doing retail. We just thought, oh, we'll do everything online. So like we had got the warehouse outside of town because it was cheap. We were paying $900 for a 2,500 square foot warehouse, which is cheap, but it was outside of town. Like it wasn't designed for retail. Had we wanted to do a bin store, then going into it, then we wouldn't have got that location. We would have got something that was more in town, which is something that we have looked at doing over the last year. We have a desire to do it, but we just don't know when. I think if we did do it, I would want to be financially secure enough to where I would just pay somebody to operate it for me. Like I would hire a manager, and because we don't want to get to day-to-day operations of a retail store, brick and mortar store, just because of how much time that it sucks up. And what's going on, Tommy 2.0? And that's right, they are the 5-to-1 stores. And those stores are very successful. But it depends. You've got to get traffic. You have to get traffic to make sure that those are going to be good. It's just the best way to do it. You want up here? Yeah. But another pallet we're really wanting to get is Target.com furniture pallets. As something that we really want to do, just because furniture sells very well here in Conway, where we're from. Most of the time, it gets like 80 to 90% of full retail for them. But we don't want people coming to our house to pick this stuff up and I'm not going to load up furniture and deliver it to somebody because that's probably just as crazy going to somebody else's house. So that's another desire we have, a reason why we would get a warehouse. But that's kind of why we got the flea market booth now. We're experimenting with it and figuring out if that's something that we can do, if we can get a right amount of traffic. Because we do want that. And I think about the flea market, if we can get booths for like the right price and we can get enough retail space, then they have somebody that works there 6 days a week. Here, buddy. So then we wouldn't even have to worry about manning it. They would do it. So that's what we're looking at now. We're kind of experimenting with the small booth that we have and go from there. So Brian asked, if not truckloads, what kind of items would I source? Are you referring to like liquidation or pallets? Come over here, buddy. They can't see me because like you are right in the way. Come over here. All right. So I would say if you're going to do, you can do small lots. Obviously, the Amazon medium box is probably our favorite pallet. Usually each pallet has anywhere from 20 to 40 items on the pallet, and you can get every pallet that we've ever unloaded. There has been, I don't know, 5 to 6 items that are priced $100 or more of those. Outside of pallets and liquidation, all right. But Amazon Media Box, those are our favorite pallets. They're pretty good. What to source? I can tell you what we source. We sell lots of consumer electronics. Anything that plugs in, has batteries, just because they sell so fast. If you don't have a lot of time, you're doing it part-time, you are going to want to source items that have a sell-through rate at least, 100%, maybe, 66%, 50%, like, it sells every 2 months, just because you're not going to have to spend as much time listing. Like if you are wanting to make, $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month, but you only have 10 hours to do it, well, buying clothes is not going to be the way to go. It would be hard, like buying shoes, because those typically have a very slow sell-through rate, like 25% on some brands. Sure, there are some brands that you can get that are going to have, 100% sell-through rate or 50% sell-through rate, but all in all, as a whole, you're looking at like a 25% sell-through rate, meaning it's going to take 4 months for you to be able to sell that item. So you're going to have to pretty much list for like how many items you need to sell each month. Like if you need to sell, if your $1,000 is your revenue goal and your average sale is $25, and that's obviously going to be, 40 items that you're going to have to sell each month. If, man, somebody just bought a bunch of stuff. So like if you've got a 25% sell-through rate, that means you're going to have to list at least 160 items per month in order to get that. Like that's going to be very difficult to do in 40 hours a month, like if you work 10 hours. So finding those items that do it. Electronics does it. There are some other categories like sporting goods that sell very quick, home goods. There's a lot of those items, pet goods. Pretty much everything pet related that we have gotten off of pallets has sold within a couple of weeks. So I would look at sourcing those particular items, but I would definitely stay away from clothes, from shoes. And I feel like for most resellers, especially new ones, that's usually what they end up sourcing because it's the most readily available. There's so much clothing that's available that you can go to any thrift store, garage sale, all these places, and you buy clothes because you can get them cheap, but they sell slow. And that's kind of the thing. So the Amazon medium box pallets, I won't tell you where you can get them on here. You can email me and I would tell you, or hit us up on Facebook, because a lot of these places, I don't want to get any of them in trouble. Because they're not even supposed to. Amazon is very, very peculiar. Like when they even sell them, they can't even call them Amazon pallets. They have to call them something else. And then they can't even put pictures online. They have to put all kinds, there's so many different stipulations that they have to, and hula hoops they have to walk through. But I would tell you where you can get those if you reach out to us on Facebook. But you think of a medium box, the pallets themselves, you know, a pallet 48 inches by 40 inches. And then these pallets are like 8 to 9 feet tall. So they're massive pallets. We've gotten on those pallets anything from vacuum cleaners to 3D printers, toilets, kitchen sinks, chandeliers, vents, like air conditioner vents, diaper pails, all kinds of toasters, blenders, all pictures, paintings, all kinds of stuff. It's just a wide assortment of general merchandise items that you get. And when we were getting those, we found that about 65% of those items you could sell in new other condition, meaning that the box had been opened, but it hasn't even been messed with. And then usually about 20% of those items were going to be items that you can sell in used condition. They may have used it for a little bit, or they didn't like the color. It's got a small scratch, or maybe the box was dented when it was being shipped. And then the other 15% we found is going to be garbage. It would be trash, or you'd have to part it out. And in that, like we've seen like $1,000 porcelain sinks destroyed. And return fraud obviously would go in that 15%, where used auto parts, that auto parts, man, I wouldn't buy auto parts. There's so much fraud with that. I know we bought a tool pallet back in October, and there was so much fraud with it. And there was so much fraud on that pallet. It was crazy. What's going on, Elo Flip? And but there's so much fraud. It was crazy how much fraud there is with auto parts. People buying brake pads and rotors, sending back their used ones. It's crazy. And but those are good pallets, so we like those. We will get some more of those. We will do some, and all the unboxing videos on our channel, not all of them. There's 9 that we did last year. I guess it had been the year before last. There may have been some at the beginning of last year. But all of those unboxings that we did were all medium box. Some of those videos sucked. We weren't very good at filming then with angles and all that. But you can kind of get an idea of what was on them. But we like those pallets. They're my favorite. My next favorite would be the Amazon small box. Just because of the pure potential that's on there. There's like, I don't know, 900 to 1,200 items on those pallets. So there's so many items, but the thing you got to think about is probably 70% of that are probably 50% of those are going to be items under $10. Then you got another 20% that are going to be items under $20. And then 30%, is more, but there's so much stuff on there, so much stuff, and there's so much, usually every pallet we would get, 1 or 2 items that were like $300 and $400 items. I'd say for the most part, there's some pallets that were completely garbage. I remember one pallet we got, it was at the end of the year, and I guess whoever was selling, they were calendars, like 2017 daily planners, where somebody had disposed of them from their Amazon inventory, and they all got put in this pallet. I don't know, there's probably 300 or 400 of them calendars that we gave away and threw away. It was crazy. So but we try to keep these at about an hour. So I'll give y'all the opportunity if y'all have any questions out there. I would be happy to answer them for you. If not, I am going to go and get these kids in bed and get them put to sleep because they are tired. So thank you, Cajun. Appreciate you. My voice is all scratchy. I talked a lot. And there's a lot, so much stuff to know with pallets. I know a lot of people are intimidated when it comes to buying liquidation. I guess it's the same reason like we're intimidated for thrifting because we don't have experience. We don't have that knowledge doing it. It's the same thing with pallets. Like you gain the experience and knowledge by doing it, but I also know it's easier. I say easier. I wouldn't even say easier. It is less costly to learn with thrifting than it is with buying a liquidation pallet because you're going to spend, $300, $400, $500 on a pallet that you have to learn with versus going to a flea market or a thrift store and spending $5 or $10 or $20. Like it's varying levels of stuff, but it's a lot to learn. But you're paying for your education, and it's not always free. Education is never free. It shouldn't be free. Just because I believe people place a higher value on something that it costs them to achieve or to earn or to get. If all education is free, people will lose respect for that education because it costs them nothing. When something costs you something, you're going to learn from it a lot more because it's that cost that causes you to remember those learning experiences. So no other questions. I'm going to get off here. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. But I appreciate y'all. And if y'all have any questions that you'd like to see answered in a future video, put it down below. If not, y'all have a good night. And I appreciate y'all as always. Peace.